In the heart of Asaba, there lived a very beautiful couple, Mr. and Mrs. Chimaroke. They owned their own businesses. They were doing well. It was a family business. The couple came together and actualized the business for themselves. It was doing fantabulously well. They had looked forward to having their own bundle of joy. But this baby, it didn't seem coming. They did every necessary thing. She had even gone for numerous IVFs, failed once, pain, the trauma that came with every failed IVF. Mrs. Chimaroke told herself that she can't go back there anymore. She won't do the IVF. The needle pain, all those things were traumatizing. And the fact that you think that the baby is coming and the baby doesn't come at the end of the day. So Mrs. Chimaroke decided to hope on God. She believed that her baby was going to come forth. And few years down the line, she took in. She was glad, really happy. And when it was time to give birth, she gave birth to a set of twins, a boy and a girl. She threw the largest party that ever happened in Asaba. She just wanted to celebrate the arrival of her twin. Everyone came to celebrate with the Chimarokes. They were all excited for them. But with the passing days, they noticed that the son was different in all ways. His sister kept on growing taller, but he wasn't growing taller. It felt like he remained on the floor. He walked on time. He did everything on time, but he was not tall in any way. When it was time to go to school, they had even asked if they were sure that the kids were twins, because his sister was way taller than him. And when she took him to the hospital to know what was wrong, she knew she was feeding him well. So there was no way they would say he was having any malnutrition or anything. After the doctor was done observing him, that was when the doctor realized that he was a dwarf. Mrs. Chimaroke felt bad, but she had to accept her son for who he was. Being a dwarf does not make him less. Being a dwarf does not make him not fitting to the family. He is her son. But things gradually started changing the moment he grew up. The moment Odera grew up, he noticed that people barely spoke to him. Not because he wasn't handsome or anything, but people just looked at him like a Smalley. In fact, they even mostly called him Smalley. Even when he was 15 years, they referred to his sister as normal, but they called him Smalley. In fact, his sister had even told him, see, Odera, we are brothers and sisters when we are in the house, but when you sing outside, don't talk to me. Because I don't want all those guys that are admiring me not to admire me anymore because of you. They always see you like a small boy. Odera felt bad with those words. How come his own sister is looking down on him? They are twins and he was the one that came out first, so he's the eldest. Is it because he's small? Odera had no friend. The only person that was his friend was a guy named Precious, who was his friend not because of self-pity, but because Precious was a very poor boy and had no friend. The two people with no friends became friends. Precious was from a poor background and his parents had no money. So most of his classmates barely spoke to him. They saw him as being poor, being broke. He barely had food to eat. So whenever Odera was around, Odera gave him some snacks. And that was how they became friends. Precious wasn't even that bright. He gradually became bright with the help of Odera. Odera wasn't someone that loved to play too much. When the kids are playing outside, he was trying to solve a mathematics problem or the other. And Precious being his friend, Precious gradually picked up. And as life may have it, Odera gradually built a shell and a wall. He became very, very dominating in nature because he had this mindset that people will always look down on him. He had this superiority complex. He never wanted anyone to look down on him again the moment he was done with school. Even while at university, people still looked down at him, but he did not bother. He goes to school every day and returned. The only person that kind of encouraged him was his housemaid, Elizabeth, who told him that even the smallest drum could make the loudest noise. Even the smallest drum could make the most beautiful sound. So do not allow the way people look at you to define who you are. That you're not tall doesn't mean that you cannot climb the highest mountain. That you're not tall doesn't mean you cannot achieve what the giants can. Elizabeth was Odera's best friend, not until she got married and left the Chimaroke's dynasty. So he was alone at home because his sister, Tessie, barely even had time to talk to him. She was always in her room doing the girls' things. So the only person that comes around was Precious. And Precious don't always come around because Odera's house was far from Precious's house. So they barely visited one another. They only do it on rare occasion. Odera grew up and became a full-grown man. Things changed. Even in the company he was overseeing. He did not allow any worker look down on him. He was the boss, and aside the fact that he was the boss, he already knew that the workers would keep on gossiping. So he made sure he was strict, and strict to the core. The fact that he had already faced belittling when he was growing up, he cannot face it as a full-grown man. So people feared him. The respect they had for him came out of fear and not even respect. Because whenever he wasn't around, they insulted him. They compared him with his sister and said because he was a bad person, that's why he will never ever grow tall. Odera wasn't bothered. Provided whoever was talking couldn't say it right in his front, that person was nothing to him. And whoever dares to go and do something he did not instruct that person to do, Odera will give the person the highest discipline ever. Odera was greatly feared at work, and he enjoyed it that way. He did not even need the company of anybody. He was a standing one-man island. He loved his life that way. He was okay with Precious being his friend. Precious wasn't even working in his company. Precious was a banker far from where he stayed. Wherever it was Friday, they hung out and discussed. For Odera, he had made up his mind to live that way. He was referred to Stone Cold. Most of his workers called him Stone Cold. The moment he was coming into the company, they quickly give stigma. Stone Cold is around, Stone Cold, Stone Cold. And everyone was sit put. He enjoyed it that way. Whether it was coming out of fear or respect, that was the way it should be. If no one was going to regard him as a man, then they should fear him as one. And when it came to dating, Odera saw hell had fury. The girls that managed to look his way were only there to chop money. The ones he greatly admired, the ones he really wanted to get to know, look at him from head to toe and say, how can this small boy come and meet me, a full-grown lady that you want to be what? Don't you know I can see the middle of your head? Are you okay? Odera will ask himself, is it that this lady can't see that I have mustache? Or don't she know that I am also a full-grown man? And he will quickly excuse himself. He was already tired of the belittling that came from all those annoying girls. Precious often told him, see Odera, you just have to let all these things go. The woman that is meant for you will come. Don't allow all these small girls get to your nerves. The woman made for you will come. She's going to see you for who you are and not for your height or for your looks. That's just the truth about life. If you're going to allow all the small things get to you, my dear, you will have blood pressure. Odera told himself that was just the truth. If he tried to fit into this girl's criteria, then they were there to chop his money. And there was no way he could become tall in any way. Was he going to stretch himself? So he made up his mind. He enjoyed the wall he had built. A wall that only contained him and Precious. Every other person was a counterfeit. In fact, he had this personal hatred for his sister. Oh God. His sister could not even stand close to him, whether it was church or anything. And his sister Tessie was planning to get married. She loved her life the way it was. It wasn't her fault that her brother was born a dwarf. But that doesn't mean that he should use his dwarfism to spoil her shine. One day, her mother looked at her and said, Tessie, what if you give birth to a dwarf? Oh, Jesus. Tessie pleaded the blood of Jesus Christ more than 100 times, rejecting it, telling her mother, Mommy, it cannot happen. God forbid, it will never happen. I will never give birth to a dwarf. Her mom said, I'm not wishing you that. I'm just telling you, you should learn to appreciate your brother. He seniors you and you don't even respect him. You always avoid him like he's a plague. Why? Tessie said, Mom, I'm not avoiding him. It's just that he loved different things and I love different things. Odera was still very, very much annoyed with his sister, but he didn't take much of it to heart. He just went to work every day. Moreover, he will soon be staying on his own. He had already spoken to his parents about it. So one fateful afternoon, his friend Precious came to visit him at the office and told him, Odera, please, I need a favor from you. Odera looked at Precious and said, what happened? And Precious said, Odera, please, there's a lady I want you to give a job. Please, please. I know you don't do all those type of things, but please, can you just do it for me? And Odera asked Precious, is she really learned? What's her academics background? Precious said she's still trying to go to the university. At least she can be a front desk assistant, someone that will welcome people. Oh, good day, good afternoon, welcome to so please, just please. Odera said, okay, no problem. Ask her to resume tomorrow. To which Precious thanked him greatly and went back home. And the next day, a very beautiful young lady, Oninechi, resumed. She had walked straight to Odera's office, greeted him and introduced herself. After that, Odera had given her a position where she was going to stay. She was more like a receptionist. She welcomed people to the company and told them the particular place they were supposed to go to. Oninechi loved her job. It wasn't demanding and the pay was good. She was really grateful to her neighbor, Precious. Precious is Oninechi's neighbor. Oninechi stays with her parents and they've really been nice to Precious. And that was why Precious decided to help their first daughter, Oninechi, get a job. Oninechi often enjoyed her job. She was the first to come to work and the last to go. She was really enjoying the work. It wasn't really stressing her. But after 3 months of enjoying her work, Odera's secretary had taken maternity leave. So, Oninechi had to fill up as Odera's secretary for the time being till the secretary returns from the maternity leave. Oninechi was guided on what to do and what not to do, how to avoid Odera's glance, how to avoid things that was going to make Odera very, very annoyed. To which Oninechi listened. And with the passing days, Oninechi was supposed to get some documents and a cup of coffee for Odera. But Odera was in a haste. He needed everything done immediately, quick and fast. And while Oninechi was running with the documents and the cup of coffee, she had mistakenly spilled coffee on Odera. Odera stood up with anger. He shouted at her. And when he was done, he told her to get out of here. When she left, she tried to calm herself down. She knew she wasn't the kind of person that works under pressure. She loved to take her turns one at a time. This wasn't just the only time Oninechi was messing up a lot of things. One certain day, Odera had instructed her to email a file to him before she closed for work for that day. Oninechi did email the file, but she had emailed the wrong file because Odera kept on calling and she was trying to clear her decks. She was trying to finish submitting the documents he had asked her to, and the moment she just got to her system, she just pressed send without even confirming if that was the right file. Odera called her when she was close to her house and asked her what was the meaning of that. And she said, sir, I sent you the file. Odera said, are you okay? Are you blind? Don't you read? What's your problem? How can you say you sent me the file? Did you even go through the rubbish you sent to me? Odera asked her to go back and send him the right file before the security closed for the day. And that was how Oninechi started running. She ran back to the company, clocked in again, sent the right file, clocked out, and went home. When she got home, she couldn't even explain her pressure. She had told her mom that she enjoyed being a front desk assistant rather than even working for Odera. That Odera is terror. That he does not even appreciate anybody and he does not see anybody. She had told her mom, that's why they say small people like attention. Her mom asked her, what do you mean? Say he's not tall. It's not like I'm mocking him. He's handsome, but he's not tall and he can worry. If he asks you to do something, before he even raises his head, he's expecting you to drop it immediately. Her mom told her, don't worry. The main thing there is that you have something doing. At least you can support yourself in school. Oninechi told her mom, I can't wait for his secretary to return. I'm already tired. I feel like I'm going to faint one day. Her mom said, don't think much of it. Everyone have their own weaknesses. It's just that they've already made him look like a scary lion in the film, and that's why. If you stop seeing him the way they've explained him to be, probably you'll get to understand him better. But that wasn't the case, so Oninechi was just a very clumsy girl, and Odera was always getting annoyed. He was trying to hold himself. If it were not Precious that had brought Oninechi to him, he would have fired her long ago. So Oninechi and Odera kept on tracking it because Oninechi was always making mistakes and he was always calling her to correct herself. The worst of it all was the day Odera had pleaded. For the very first time in his life, he had even added please to his staff. To please help pick up a blue tuxedo suit from his dry cleaner. Oninechi got to the dry cleaner after explaining who she was and the suit she had come to pick. The dry cleaner brought out the blue tuxedo suit and a black tuxedo suit for another person. Oninechi switched the bag by mistake again, and when she got to the event, Odera looked at her and asked her, Oninechi, do you have issues? Don't you confirm a particular document or an item before you pick it up? Oninechi was trying to understand, and that was when she looked at what she was holding. It was a black tuxedo suit. Odera couldn't put it on. That wasn't his clothes, so there was no need trying it on. He was on a native, and what he was supposed to wear for this event was a suit. Oninechi had messed everything up, but he had to cover his face and walk into the event. Obviously, he wasn't tall, and people will still notice him for even not doing the right thing. He had told her, when I see you tomorrow in the office, we'll fix this. When Oninechi got home, she cried. She wailed. She was already scared that she was going to get fired, but she didn't want to get Precious involved, knowing fully well that she made a mistake. And the next morning, Odera asked her, what's your issue? And for the very first time, someone actually replied Odera. It was a question, right? So she had to reply. And she told him, sir, please, we all have our weaknesses. Please, can you be a little bit calm with me? Odera looked at her and asked her, are you sure you're okay? If we all treat people like bread and butter, do you think the world is going to keep moving? If your speed limit is 20 and another person's speed limit is 10, so you think we're going to start chasing people based on their speed limits? Do you think the world revolves around you? My dear, you have to pick up. Pick up. If the world is moving at a speed limit of 500 kilometers per second, then you should try to move according to that. Oninechi said, yes, sir, and she left. But they also noticed that Oninechi was very good at carrying out other tasks. If he asked her to review a particular document, to summarize a particular document, she did it fantabulously well. But the moment he gives her lots of work and asks her to do it within a particular period of time, he was going to see lots of error. And that's when he gradually understood that she couldn't work under pressure. She was someone that wanted to get the job done in a very excellent way. She wasn't that kind of person that wanted you to call her over and over again for a particular job. So working under pressure wasn't her kind of thing. So one day, while Oninechi was working on some documents, he had asked her to please quickly summarize. Oninechi got it, but she brought just one of the documents. And when Odora looked at her, she said she was working on the other ones, that she was going to gradually bring them. Odora, for the very first time, asked her to sit down and told her, I understand. Now I understand that you can work under pressure. Are you scared of me? Onyinyechi could not say anything. Obviously, she was scared of him. They already called him the lion in the office, so who dare speak when he speaks? Onyinyechi just nodded her head. No. Odora looked at her and said, don't worry. I totally understand you now, and I want you to be able to be free with me. My other secretary was a bit free with me, so you have to be able to communicate with me on your own level. I notice that you do wonderful jobs, but at the end of the day, if you can't meet up a particular time, you let us know. So it doesn't look like as if you're always messing up things or you're very clumsy. Onyinyechi looked at him and told him, thank you very much. And gradually, Onyinyechi and Odora became a bit close as Odora gradually started working in her pace, knowing fully well that she wasn't really done with school. She was still learning a lot of things and she was avoiding to make mistakes. Odora learned how to tell her thank you for jobs that she did well and corrected her politely for the ones she had made mistakes. He made sure never to ask her to do 500 things at the same time. He tried to take it one step at a time with her. Gradually, Onyinyechi started liking him. Like, genuinely, she started liking Odora. Odora wasn't way older than her. Odora was just 5 years older than her. And the moment she knew she was developing feelings for her boss, the moment she comes to work, she'll quickly clean his office, keep his coffee on his table, even spray the office with nice fragrance that she got with her own money. Odora noticed change. And to him, he was happy that she was gradually adapting. But with the passing days, he found out that Onyinyechi was the only person he really spoke to in a different way in the whole organization. When she had some issues, he asked her to sit down and they spoke about it freely. And he asked himself, what changed? How come she's able to penetrate me? How come she's not outside the world like every other person? What's so special about her? But gradually, he noticed that he was beginning to like her. Probably because she used to be clumsy. He wasn't sure. He wasn't certain. He knew that there was something different about her. Truly, she wasn't really scared of him. She became really free, but very, very mannered. She knew the line. She never crossed the line. So one day, Onyinyechi followed him for a business meeting. And while returning, I just wanted to know about her. Onyinyechi spoke about herself, their struggles, the financial struggle her family is facing, why she had to take up a job, and why she goes to work and goes to school during the weekend. I listened carefully. He was impressed, and he then asked her, how have you been able to navigate your life, being that you can't do 100 things at the same time, like you can't juggle so many jobs? Onyinyechi said that she's trying. She's trying. Obviously, she can't do more than she can. And that's when she looked at Odora and told him, sir, you know everybody has their own weaknesses. And the moment you tend to learn to embrace it and not see it as the worst part of you, then you learn to shine. The fact that I know I don't like working under pressure, I don't like doing 100 things at the same time. Initially, my mom used to find it very irritating. My siblings will finish their food before me, finish their assignment before me. But gradually, she started understanding that this was me and there was nothing that could be done. When it comes to my assignment, I make sure I never fail anyone. My siblings quickly do it in order to go watch TV. So it wasn't how fast, it is how good. Odora looked at her and smiled and said, that's good. That's good to know. But with the passing days, he started enjoying the company of Onyinyechi. They conversed. Sometimes if they had lunch together in the office. He had seen someone that was very, very free with him, a lady for that matter. Ladies are always regarded him as smally. And it didn't take long. The feeling started, but he didn't know how to approach it. So he spoke to his friend Precious about it. He had told him that he liked Onyinyechi, but he didn't know how to ask her. But he didn't want Precious to do the asking either. But he wanted to be sure if the feeling was mutual before asking her. Precious looked at him and told him, so how do you need my help? You don't want me to ask her? You don't want me to get involved? But you still want to know if she like you. So how do you want me to do it? Then, Odera told him, can you just get to know if her siblings talk about me in a good way? Because if they do, then she goes back home and talk about me. Precious said, okay, no problem. I will help you to do that. Since you've turned me to FBI, no problem. Precious asked Oni's siblings if Oni used to talk about her boss, is the boss wicked and all those things. One of Oni's siblings, Casey, told Precious that first time she was saying that he was very mean, but now she's always happy. Oh, I had lunch with my boss. Oh, this, oh, that, oh, this. And Precious nodded and said, okay, no problem. Thank God she's enjoying her work. Oh, I just wanted to know whether where I put her is a good place or not. And Casey said, no, uncle, thank you. You really try for my sister. At times, he even used to drop her the bus, so she stayed though. Sometimes she'll come with shawarma and pizza for us. So he's treating her well. Precious said, no problem. He smiled to himself as Odera never told him that part. And when he called Odera, he told Odera, I guess you've hit the jackpot. She likes you, so you can move on. 3 days down the line, it was a weekend. Odera had taken Oni for a solo dinner date. And during this dinner date, he asked Oni out. He made his feelings known. Oni was really glad. She didn't know much about him, but she was open to knowing more about him. Oni accepted to date him, and during this dating period, everything about Odera changed. In fact, everyone working for Odera could notice that he was a total different person. He was always smiling. He often forgave their nasty mistakes. He wasn't taking the world too personal as if the world was a wicked place. Oni made him feel comfortable. She was there to always listen to him, share his burden with him. He finally found love that felt really good. Oni broke those walls no one could, not even Precious, because it was always man-to-man talk. The love he never got while he was little, he got it from Oni. And it didn't take long. He had told Oni that he wanted to get married to her. There was no time to waste time. Oni's parents had accepted. He was a good person. Being a dwarf doesn't mean that he's bad. If their daughter likes him, so they give their blessings. Odera and Oni got married. And after which, Odera made sure Oni finished school. He made sure he worked with her till she finished her school. Odera became a total different person. He wasn't longer too annoying. He didn't often get angry at people. The walls he had created because of the kind of life he had lived when he was little, those walls gradually came down. He never knew that someone could change that part of him. Only made him understand that everyone have their flaws. And your flaws shouldn't define who you are. That you're a dwarf doesn't mean that you can't excel. Wherever you're excelling in what you do, you don't need to announce your presence. Who you are, what you are will announce you. Odera loved everything about his wife, Oni. Oni was the perfect blessings to him. Oni was a reminder of his maid that used to care for him. And he loved and cherished her forever. Thank you very much for listening to this beautiful story of the day. Please, I would like you to share what you've learned from this one. But before I leave you, I'd like to drop one or two. We all have different flaws one way or the other. Odera being born a dwarf wasn't even a flaw. It wasn't his fault per se. But because of the way people treated him, because of the way people regarded him, he had to build his own wall. No matter the situation we find ourselves, we should try to make sure that the people around us are comfortable. We shouldn't insult people, belittle them for who they are, for what is lacking in their life. I just want to use the story to encourage people out there. No one is perfect. We'll still remain your favorite storyteller, Zika. So we'll see you again in our next story. Please and please do not forget to like our stories, watch till the very end, comment, and share to your loved ones. Thank you for your constant love and support. Thank you for never forgetting me. So we'll see you again in our next story. Bye for now.